Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Rohan.
And I'm Vish. And if you're new to our channel, we make videos about our life, travel, and career in London.
And in this video, we are covering one of the most frequently asked questions, whether you should do an MBA in Canada or in UK.
And you're getting first-hand insights because I did my MBA in the UK.
And I did mine in Canada. So without any further ado, let's get started.
First things first, course duration and structure. What is really unique about the UK MBA is that it's a one-year program. At least most of the schools in the UK do offer a one-year program, which means that you can really have a very quick MBA and be back in the workforce. That saves you the opportunity cost. But that again has to be taken with a grain of salt because it means that this MBA does not give you enough time to experiment, do a lot of internships, and really figure out what you want to do next. You really need to be sure of certain career paths before really coming for the UK MBA. There is very little time to pause, but it is efficient if you are clear about your MBA goals.
In Canada, most of the MBA programs are 2 years long, giving you ample amount of time to work through your internships or experiment new things if you're planning on switching your career. And of course, the summer internships can be a game changer to get hands-on experience of how companies really work in an international environment. Alright, now let's talk money, which is the tuition costs and the living expenses. My MBA in Canada costed around 50,000 Canadian dollars in tuition fees just for 1 year and additional 15 to 20,000 Canadian dollars for the living expenses for the year. But keep in mind, this was back in 2022 in Toronto, and with inflation and increasing tuition costs, it's going to be much more in the years to come. Also, living in cities like Toronto or Vancouver can be as expensive as living in London. And since most Canadian MBAs are 2 years long, you basically have to pay your rent and living expenses for 2 years.
Now coming to the UK, my tuition fees back in 2022 was about £60,000, and for living expenses you can consider between 15 to 20,000 pounds. So overall the cost was similar, but I only studied for a year, so the overall cost was actually lower than the Canadian MBA.
Funding is definitely one of the biggest challenges international students face, and we are always on the lookout to help you with some opportunities. So we have some amazing news. There is a $12,000 scholarship opportunity irrespective of whether you choose UK or Canada.
Amber, the student accommodation platform, is offering a 12,000 USD scholarship. And the best part is you don't even need to apply for a student housing in order to apply for the scholarship. There are 3 prizes in the scholarship. The first prize is $6,000, the second prize is $4,000, and the third prize is $2,000.
All you need to do is submit a statement of purpose highlighting why you deserve the scholarship. This could be a written piece, a video, or just a creative presentation.
Just be sure to highlight your academic goals, financial needs, and how this scholarship is going to impact your studies.
The last date to apply is 16th of August, and the shortlisting will take place by 31st August. And the winners will be announced by 5th September 2025. Click on the link in the description and fill the form. Someone from the Amber team will reach out to you to help with the process. With Amber, you can also search for student housing based on your university and the location, which makes the whole process of moving abroad so much easier.
And the best part, the prices are all inclusive, which means water, electricity, Wi-Fi prices are already in the bill. So you're not going to get any surprise bills by the end of the month. They offer 24/7 support, which means if you change a plan last minute, they will accommodate your request. We'll drop the link in the description below. So if you're heading out to UK, Canada, or in fact any other country for your higher education, you should definitely check them out. Now, coming to post-MBA job opportunities. Now in the UK, I would say the opportunities are quite well, in the sense that if you're based in London, there are all big companies in consulting, finance, tech, etc. that you may be interested in. And of course, the salary would depend on what kind of school you're graduating from. If you're coming from top 3 schools such as London Business School, Oxford or Cambridge, you can expect the salary ranging between 75,000 to 90,000 pounds as starting base.
Canada is a strong market too, especially if you're in a big city like Toronto or Vancouver. Companies are hiring across sectors in banking, telecom, technology, finance, so you have everything over there. And that internship year really helps you get your foot into the door. Again, it depends on all the factors that Vish also mentioned. And an average salary from a top 3 MBA school here, such as Rotman, Ivy or Schulich, can range between 85,000 Canadian dollars to $105,000. And that brings us to the next topic, work visa and immigration options. After your MBA in Canada, you'll get a 3-year postgraduate work permit, which will also open avenues for you to apply for a permanent residency or apply for citizenship in the future.
Now, in the UK, you get a 2-year post-study work visa. And if you want to stay longer in the UK, you would have to be sponsored by an employer. Now, getting a PR can take up to 7 years because if you apply for the 2-year work visa and you get sponsored by an employer for another 5 years, that can take 7 years for PR and another 1 year for citizenship. Or the other option is you directly go with the work visa route, which is 5 years. Therein, you save 2 years into getting the PR.
So if your goal is to settle abroad, Canada offers a smoother pathway than UK.
Now discussing academic and cultural experience. Now since UK MBA is just a year-long program, most of the classes are mostly case-driven, which means that there wouldn't be opportunities to do a lot of practical experience or multiple internships. But what I really liked about the case study approach was that professors encourage a lot of independent thinking. On top of that, the cohort is really diverse. In my cohort, there were people from 70 plus nationalities. And on top of that, of course, the career backgrounds were very diverse as well. For example, there were doctors, there were pilots, there were, of course, the classic consultants, bankers, etc., but also people from theaters. So it was really diverse. On top of that, I felt that everyone was really collaborative.
I would say that the cohort in Canada can feel a little less diverse, but it's still pretty diverse in terms of the backgrounds and the experiences that people have. Teaching was a mix of case studies and practical applications. For example, I was able to do 2 internships throughout my MBA, which really helped me get that practical exposure. Alright, lastly, we want to talk about the student life. Academically, Canadian MBAs are rigorous, focusing on leadership, strategy, and practical skills. You'll also have opportunities to join student clubs, network with your seniors and juniors, and participate in internships. Socially, student life is vibrant. There's always something going on and off campus.
Similarly, with the UK programs, you would get a lot of opportunities to join student clubs, to also do internships, maybe not as many as in Canada, and do a lot of networking, especially if your MBA program is based in London or nearby. UK has also got its own charm. Not only will you be traveling within the UK, but you get to also travel across Europe on a budget. For instance, I was able to travel to about 4 countries during my MBA program. So, which one is the right one for you? Now, you should choose the UK if you want a fast-track MBA program, a very global perspective, and don't mind a high-paced year.
Choose Canada if you're planning to settle abroad and want a slower paced journey with options for internships.
There's no one-size-fits-all answer. It all comes down to what your career goals are, what your finances looks like, what your immigration plans are, and how close you want to be from your home country. We hope this video was helpful and you were able to get a clear picture of what to expect from MBA in UK versus MBA in Canada.
If you're currently applying, drop your questions in the comments below and we are happy to help.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if you found it helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.